Hi everyone, welcome back to Falcon's House. This is the Lost Watch vlog. This is the Season 3 finale, which is episodes 22 and 23, and it ends the longer seasons of Lost. All the seasons from here on out are a lot shorter. Once again, I will be using Wikipedia for the recap sections. The others are planning their attack, and the survivors are tipped off by Carl and plan to kill the others with dynamite-rigged tents. Sayid, Jin, and Bernard remain on the beach, tasked with shooting the tents, while the rest of the survivors journey with Rousseau to the radio tower to communicate with Naomi's nearby ship. The others arrive, and while Sayid and Bernard detonate their tents, Jin misses his target, which results in their capture. I think this was a pretty good plan, but it just didn't have quite the best execution. After hearing only 2 explosions, Sawyer and Juliet turn back to see if they can help. Hurley, who is not allowed to accompany Sawyer and Juliet because of his weight, drives the van he found back onto the beach, and the captives are able to gain the upper hand and kill the remaining others with the help of Sawyer and Juliet. Tom surrenders, but Sawyer shoots him anyway. I think he had a lot of anger towards Tom and towards the others in general for everything that's happened, for being captured, for killing of their people. So I don't blame Sawyer here. I think he's kind of justified in his reason for killing him. At this point, there's just so much anger has been built up. In the flashes, Jack is shown to be depressed, bearded, heavily drinking, and addicted to painkillers. After reading about the death of someone he knew, Jack appears to be ready to commit suicide by jumping off a bridge. However, a fiery car crash occurs on the bridge before he jumps, and he goes to the victims. It is eventually revealed that the driver crashed after being distracted by Jack. Later, Jack visits the memorial service for the person he read about, and he finds himself to be the only attendee. In the last of the flashes, Kate appears and Jack discusses the island with her. In a twist ending, it becomes clear that the sequences are actually flash forwards rather than flashbacks. Jack tells Kate about the memorial service, but Kate, acting distant towards him, coldly retorts that she wouldn't have gone if she had known. Jack also talks about using a golden pass they received from Oceanic Airlines to fly back and forth across the Pacific Ocean every Friday, hoping that he will crash on the island again. Jack laments having to lie and that they should never have left. However, Kate disagrees and leaves while Jack cries out that they have to go back. I did not see the flash forwards coming at all. It was a good twist that changed what I was looking for in the scenes going forward. They were presented in a very sneaky way that was kind of difficult to see in advance, and they kind of knew that they probably were going to have to change something because obviously we had most of the backstories of these characters, but they didn't want to abandon this 2 time frame setup. I think it is kind of similar to how Westworld in current shows has done the same thing. Like, they tried to maintain their 2 timelines set up in season 2, and it just was not as effective. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to go on a big Westworld tangent here. You can go watch my Westworld season 2 videos for all of that information. But I do like how these flash forwards were presented, and it was a good twist. It got me. And I was trying to pay attention because I knew twists and things were happening. And this is like one of the advantages to watching it so far after the fact. I do have like little bits of knowledge, even if I don't know the story or what happens. I kind of know the tone of what happens. So I'm always pleasantly surprised when they can surprise me like this. Okay, continuing on with the episode. Back in the normal time frame on the island, in the Looking Glass station created by the Dharma Initiative, Charlie is captured by the others, Greta and Bonnie. Ben learns of Charlie's infiltration and sends Mikhail to the station to kill the three to preserve the signal jamming. Mikhail arrives and kills Greta and Bonnie, only to be shot through the chest with a spear gun by Desmond, who emerges from a closet where he had been hiding after diving down to the station after Charlie. Getting the code from Bonnie before she dies, the notes to the middle 8 of Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys, Charlie disables the jammer and is contacted by Penny Widmore through a video transmission. Penny informs Charlie that she does not know Naomi and did not send the boat that Naomi claims to be from. Despite his injury, Mikhail manages to swim out of the station and blasts the window of the jamming station with a grenade, killing himself and flooding the communications room. Charlie locks the door to save Desmond from drowning with him, but before he drowns, Charlie writes on his hand to Desmond, "Not Penny's boat." The big reveal in this episode just keeps coming. It not being Penny's boat was surprising. I did expect Charlie to die, since they've been foreshadowing it so heavily. I think it was possible for Charlie to survive this. He could have ran out the room and then closed the door, or not closed it and still ran out. The facility was big enough that they still would have had enough time to put on the diving suits and get back to the surface. He died because he thought he was supposed to die. I still don't like Charlie, even though he did help the rest of the survivors with his death, and he had started to try to make amends with everybody, but he was still such a creep towards Claire, and he eventually broke her down and got her to date him, but he was so creepy about it and possessive, and he did hurt other people and do a lot of bad things. So I don't think that what he did at the end is enough to outweigh all the bad things he did in his life. So it didn't tip the scale far enough for me. Locke has been shot by Ben. Finding his legs paralyzed again, Locke is about to commit suicide when he is stopped by what appears to be Walt. Meanwhile, Ben tells Richard to lead the rest of the others to the temple, and then leaves the others with Alex to meet up with the survivors to persuade Jack not to call Naomi's ship for a rescue. Kate is upset about Sawyer not wanting her to come back to the beach with him to rescue Saeed, Jin, and Bernard. Jack tells her it is because Sawyer was trying to protect her. When she asks why Jack is defending Sawyer, Jack informs Kate it is that because he loves her. Kate also witnessed a kiss between him and Juliet. Ben and Alex intercept Jack's group. Ben informs Jack that Naomi is not who she says she is, and making contact with her boat will be disastrous for everyone. Ben orders the shooting of Saeed, Jin, and Bernard, and when Jack hears 3 shots, he attacks Ben and punches him in the face repeatedly. Unknown to Jack, the shots were fired into the sand. Following earlier orders from Ben, Rousseau meets Alex, and they tie Ben up. They finally get to meet after what was a long time that we've known Alex was her daughter, but that she didn't know about it and that she hadn't seen her, and they had been hinting at this all the way back in season 1 since we first met Rousseau. So this was a pretty good payoff, and they got to do something together and take down their effectively a common enemy. Even though Alex sees Ben as a father figure, she obviously knows that he isn't necessarily a good person. The other group, now able to get a signal, arrives at the radio tower, and Rousseau disables her distress signal, freeing the frequency for Naomi. However, Naomi is knifed in the back by Locke, who threatens to kill Jack if he calls Naomi's boat. But Locke cannot bring himself to do it, who communicates with George Minkowski on Naomi's boat. Minkowski tells the survivors they will be sending rescue. This was the best finale yet. A lot happened. Some things got answered. Some new questions were brought up. They found a way to introduce new characters into the show and remove other characters from the show. And they created this flash-forward system that I'm sure they will go forward with going forward to continue to show us how things turn out. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and share with other Lost fans. The next episode will be the beginning of Season 4.